The solar eclipse of 2024 is only 2 weeks away, and everybody is coming to the Buffalo-Niagara region, and that's where we're broadcasting this show from. Welcome, everyone, to Buy, Hold, Sell. This is a very special report because we're going to be talking about the economic impact of the solar eclipse coming to Buffalo. And as everybody knows, it is going right up straight through the middle of the country, but the totality, the peak event, will be in the Buffalo-Niagara region, and it sounds like everyone is coming to town. We have with us all kinds of special guests. Later in the show, we're going to have life coach Kimberly Ferris, who is putting together an extraordinary class on the day before the event. She's going to have all these groups listening to her. She's expecting thousands of people. That's going to be fascinating, so we're going to talk to her all about it. But with me right now to start off the show, I have two very special guests, Ned Tunmore and Angela Muff. They are both from the prestigious investment firm, Tunmore Financial Solutions, right in Buffalo. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Ned, I got to start with you. You're the financial guru. I know you're talking to a lot of your clients that are local. They're very excited about this, but they're not alone. We're talking about 2 million people are expected to be in this region all at one time. It's truly just monumental if you really think about it. And all we're hearing about now is the economic impact to the region. But do you think that's really going to happen?
So, Todd, great question, and thank you for the intro. What I can tell you is that we are seeing record Airbnb bookings, with hotels being sold out from at least a couple of weeks ago. On top of that, you have restaurant reservations that are already at max capacity, as well as different travel destinations like Niagara Falls and Lake Look. So I think it's been 200 years since we've had a complete solar eclipse. Nobody in our local area remembers anything like that. So this truly is a unique opportunity. And little known fact, the market usually performs at 40% better in returns when there is an eclipse like this. Just throwing that out there.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. I tell you, we will be using that in all of the buy, hold, sell shows over the next couple of weeks. Angela, you are an expert when it comes to really everything with astrology. You're talking about with the eclipse that's coming up. I mean, there's probably so many things that can happen in a positive way for everyone. I've been doing my own research, and I think that people that might be stuck in a rut, they're actually looking forward to this eclipse as a moment of change. What do you think, though, from your with the people you're speaking with on the financial side? I mean, is it really going to change? I mean, is it going to really bring on something that a lot of people aren't expecting?
I think so. Just from the research that I've been doing, they're saying that it's going to be a shift in energies. It's going to be a shift in people and animals. They're saying there's like 2 broods of cicadas that have been dormant for like 13 to 17 years that they're going to be active. Wow. And yeah, I think around Illinois is where they said, because there's actually a spot in Illinois that will see 2 solar eclipses within the past 8 years. So it's time for change. And we're in that path of the eclipse, which is kind of crazy. I remember one from when I was, I think, maybe 3rd grade. And, that was, you brought your glasses outside, make sure you didn't look at it and that kind of thing. But with over 2 million people, they're saying within our area and in Canada, Southern Ontario also, because it's going to go all the way up towards Montreal and head out that way.
That's right. And if you look at the map, you actually will see that it goes really up through into Dallas and goes up to the middle part of the country. But the totality where that sun is completely blocked will be taking place right in the Buffalo region. So naturally, you have so many that are interested that it's really a once in a generation, multi-generation moment, and they want to be here for that moment. It's probably the single biggest event that Americans will actually watch, because it actually, the entire country can actually take part in this, but you're going to have most people that want to come here. Let's talk about that a little bit on the change, because the economics of this All I've been seeing is that the 2 million people, we've been talking about it. You have a number of businesses that are delivery businesses that are actually closing that day because they know that their drivers are going to be stuck in all kinds of traffic. But when you start looking at numbers like the GDP numbers here in this region in Buffalo, that's actually Buffalo, Niagara, and Cheektowaga, I believe, that the GDP annual comes out to $84 billion. This moment alone is expected to bring in $2.5 billion. This will the
Mhm.
people are coming in for the weekend. 2.5 billion. That's just an amazing number that can really push things higher for the rest of the decade just in this region. On that change, Ned, what everything Angela was talking about, your clients that you're speaking with, I assume, I mean, do they feel any pressure? I mean, we have higher inflation. We talk about higher prices at the pump and at the grocery stores. But are they looking for something like this to be maybe their excuse to say, you know what, I'm going to make that move. I'm going into the markets. I might be doing something that's revolutionary for their own personal balance sheet.
I'm going to be honest with you, no. But now that you say it, it makes sense. I think they
Okay.
were happy with Powell's speech the other day about the raising of the interest rates. I think that's getting them a little bit more involved. But for me, this is a really unique opportunity. I mean, people are definitely talking about it. Um, yeah, we don't have a Super Bowl team. We don't have a Stanley Cup team. This is the only thing that's driving people into the area. So whatever it is, we'll take it. We'll take it.
So I was reading St. Louis Fed released a number that talked about the amount of money that a local tourist will spend in the Niagara Falls, Buffalo region. The
Yep.
number comes out to $1,735. This is American dollars, not looking at Canada or anything like that. So I started doing some math and I started thinking, okay, maybe you're flying into town. Maybe that's going to cost you, say, $700 because, as you know, hotels are booking up. You mentioned the Airbnbs that are booking up.
Right.
Air flights are very expensive into the region for that weekend alone. I mean, this is a week after Easter, and you're going to
Right.
have flights that are that expensive. So when you see that, let's just assume that it's $1,000 per person for the economic impact here. I mean, my goodness, when I start thinking of this, people that they don't have enough money in the city to fill potholes. I can't imagine what this is going to do for government and
Right.
and everything else. And I'm here in Buffalo with you guys. I mean, I'm truly looking forward to this. I mean, Angela, give us a little bit of the astrology background here. Give us an idea of why the energy is so big on this day.
So that I actually did look into, because what they say when it's going to be completely black here is that you're going to be able to see the stars and the umbra and everything coming off the moon and the sun. And I was at an event last week in East Aurora, and the entire town has embraced the eclipse. They have the Knox Farm State Park that they're promoting a huge event out there. They sold out all their tickets. Every single business that I was talking to that is there was either selling glasses, or they're having an event, or they're having a booth at the place. They're going to have music and all the things. So it's kind of bringing all the communities together. And they actually extended the spring break so that all the kids head off of school. So
That's right.
yeah,
That's
so
right.
my
They
kids
are
are
doing that.
excited about that they have an extra day and that they can go out and watch this, because it's something that they have never seen
Oh
before.
yeah. Yeah, it's extraordinary. Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of the things with the change in the weather, they say the animals are affected also, by the eclipse. And it's gonna look like it's midnight, but it's really, I think I actually wrote it down. They said it's happening between 3:18 and 3:22 is when it
Okay.
will be, completely
But that's total blackness from
correct.
318 to 322. The
Correct.
actual part will probably start, I think I read at 2 o'clock or two something,
Yeah, it
where
says 2:04. Yeah.
204.
Mhm.
So really, you're going to be seeing this over. I mean, this isn't just that 4 minute span. It was, it's
Yeah.
like the Kentucky Derby and it's over. I mean, this is going to go on for a while. And you could just imagine. I mean, I'm picturing, I can see people in Buffalo pulling over on the side of the road on I-90, the main throughway in New York State, just getting out of their cars and looking at this thing like Independence Day. I mean, if people won't know what to do,
Yeah.
everybody would be going crazy. The animals are going crazy, but the money's going to be flowing. And that's the one thing that we love to talk about on Buy, Hold, Sell is when the dollars are flowing. Everybody loves that. So, Ned, are you guys planning any special, events for this eclipse? I mean, maybe a seminar to say, hey, when you're in town, guess what? I'm a rock star when it comes to Wall Street and investing.
No, unfortunately, we haven't. Only simply because of the fact that it's so close to the holidays, and there's also going to be a Dingus Day celebration. A lot of my family's participating in that as well. So it's going to be a culmination of a bunch of different things happening within a very short period of time. And you're making me feel a little guilty, like I should have done something like that, but. Angela, can you write that down for the next eclipse?
I'll take a note. I'll take a note.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is the next guest coming up in the next block, Kimberly Ferris, has actually put together a full plan because there's so many tourists that are coming into town, and they're group tourists that are coming into town, that they need stuff to do. They need to know what to do, things to do, places to see.
Sure.
And there's a place called Lilydale, which is south of Buffalo, which is notorious for people that are into astrology, spiritual, they want life coaching, and she's putting together this fabulous class. So now it's really integrated in with a lot of these tour groups that are going to be going in. And that's why I was wondering what you're doing, because you're really a rock star when it comes to the financial side in Buffalo. I mean, I know Western New Yorkers, I go and I'll go out somewhere and people will ask me if I know you guys because they say, your stuff. And I think that's a big deal. So I would think, putting together a marketing plan with that. But maybe you don't need to, though. You guys are experts at this anyway. So who knows? Who knows? So Angela, one final thought for you. I assume you're going to be there. You're going to actually see this event that day.
Yeah.
So you're going to be where are you going to be? You're going to be on the water. What's the best spot to be? Because I'm sure there's 2 million people that will love to know where you're going to be so they could join you.
I know. I mean, they could grab a kayak and join us on our lake, but the neighborhood we live in is planning on having everybody out in the lake with their kayaks and the glasses and kind of throwing a little party where we live. So it's exciting. And the Bills logo back there, they are actually holding a watch party also at the stadium. So
really?
people have bought tickets to come and like all day event out there on the field to watch the eclipse, and they are donating the funds from that to different local charities, which is also a great thing around here. So it seems to be what a lot of places are doing is they're hosting events and donating to different charities and that kind of thing. And I'll be out there with my kids watching it, and it'll be something we'll talk about for a long time.
That is really exciting and such a great idea that the Bills would do that, because for those that aren't familiar, the Bills Stadium is it's very open. It's wide and open. Yep. So you really don't, not like some stadiums right now that you really feel like you're in a pit when you're down on the field because the stadium seats go up. So that's a great idea that the Bills are doing that. And what a great moment to donate those funds that are raised there. I know there's so many other big events that are taking place that time, and it's just something that definitely want to be a part of it.
They're saying Niagara Falls alone, they're planning on almost a million people between just being in the state park of Niagara Falls and on the other side. And NASA is going to be here too, to kind of show what's going on and do whatever NASA has to do. But can
you imagine being on the Maid of the Mist? If you're on the Maid of the Mist at that moment, I wonder what the tickets are for that moment. It must be just extraordinary. I tell you, wow. It was so exciting, so exciting. So Ned, any final financial words for the audience?
Financially, it's always best to throw your money into small caps during this time of the lunar solar eclipse. Something about the magnitude or the magnetism. And I know those things do really good. So that's a little free advice right there. But other than that, I hope everybody stays very, very healthy. Travel is all nice and secure, and it can just be an enjoyable event for everybody.
So I just want to follow up with that. So small caps
Yeah,
tend to do well during these moments.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And if you think about it, it makes sense because the smaller cap, it's less of a market cap. So it's by the magnitude pull is able to actually move that particular sector more than it would a large cap or a mid cap. That makes sense.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing. We definitely will be utilizing that advice and going forward leading up to that. Yeah, no, that's really good. It's wonderful actually, and I know the audience will get a lot out of that. Yes. So listen, guys, let's close it out on that block because coming up next, I have life coach Kimberly Ferris. She's a Cornell law grad. She's a practicing attorney. She also is this fabulous life coach, and she has a great class already planned for the Eclipse. I know everybody's going to want to hear all about it. So Ned, Angela, how can everybody find you? It's what is it? Tunmorefinancial.net, correct?
Tell them, Angela.
Correct. Tunmorefinancial.net.
I love that. Well, we will definitely have a link in the description on this. And I know all the fans on Biz Talk Today TV at BTT are going to really reach out to you, and I'm sure they'll have some questions for you following up. So this is great. So guys, thanks again. Enjoy the Eclipse, and we'll be right back right after the break with this special report. Please stay with us.
Buy, hold, sell, brought to you by Crosscheck Management.
Ready to up your game and learn more about the thrilling world of sports betting? Introducing Double Down with Breslow, the ultimate podcast about the business of sports gambling. Join me, James Breslow, and a long list of expert guests as we dive into the art and science of the sports betting industry. Evolving regulations, technology enhancements, and the meteoric rise in the number of players makes this sector the fastest growing and most intriguing in the world. Unlock the business secrets from many of the industry's most recognizable C-suite executives, including famous odds makers and influencers. Every episode of Double Down with Breslow is packed with insider tips, deeply skilled analysis, and in-depth discussions. Don't miss out on the ultimate resource for mastering the business of sports betting. Listen to Double Down with Breslow on the Evergreen Podcast Network or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's Double Down with Breslow, the business of sports betting podcast.
Welcome back to Buy, Hold, Sell. Well, we are talking all about the total solar eclipse that is going to be happening in a couple of weeks, and all eyes seem to be on Buffalo, New York, because as the eclipse is taking place, splitting the country, the totality, the peak of it, will be taking place right here in the Buffalo-Niagara Falls region. Now, with me right now, I'm so excited. I have Kimberly Ferris. She is a life coach. She's also an attorney. She's an Ivy League attorney from Cornell Law School. And Kimberly, we were just talking to Ned Tunmore and Angela Muff all about the economics, the economy, the boost to the region with so many people coming to town. 2 million people from all over the world are expected to come right here to the Buffalo-Niagara Falls region. I gotta ask, what's with the excitement? I get this once-in-a-lifetime event, but there's got to be something that's a little bit more of a higher power that's generating that type of excitement.
Absolutely, Todd. Thank you for having me. I have to say, this will be an incredible, incredible experience because think about it. In the middle of the day on a Monday, all of a sudden the moon is going to come out of nowhere and block the sun in its complete totality. It will be just like the dead of night in the middle of the day. Think about how we psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually are going to react to that when that happens. Yeah. And think about the animals and how they're going to react. Schools are closed, businesses are closed. It will be gridlock if you're on the roads. People will be looking up. We have to have special glasses. And so it's going to give us a time truly, not only to prepare, but to reflect on what is actually going on. The moon symbolically has always represented the subconscious, the unknown. Okay. And typically when we see the moon, we see it at nighttime, sometimes a little bit during the day, but it's because the sun is shining on it. The moon itself is not a source of light. It's a reflection of light. It reflects the light. And so this time the moon is going to block the light that would normally be shining before our eyes during the day on the things that we see and do. And we're actually going to see the dark side of the moon as a result of the blocking of the sun. And symbolically, that means we're going to see the part of our subconscious that we can't see, or that we plays along messages and things that we don't recognize. It's going to highlight maybe our fears or insecurities. And that's important. If you're trying to have success in life, whether it be financial success, like with buy, hold, sell, right? And figuring out the code, cracking that code so that we can make some wealth for our clients and for ourselves, or maybe success in relationships, success in our path, in our careers. We need to know what might be sabotaging that success within ourselves, the things that maybe we heard when we were very young, or we experienced that we didn't totally work through. And so in that respect, it's highlighting the dark side of ourselves to bring that to light so we can deal with it. And so we can be successful. And that's really what it is.
So I see what you're saying, and it does make a lot of sense. I would think that that type of change, people maybe having something that's in their lives that maybe they're stuck. They want that change. This is their moment. This is the moment from a power and energy source with so many people, the common bond, the common denominator of people that are there. And then this is your moment of opportunity. When you're speaking to people, and you're a life coach, when you're speaking to people and you're giving advice, do you feel that people right now are in a struggle? One thing we like to talk about on buy, hold, sell is, I know the stock market is up, but you still have inflation. You have higher prices at the grocery store. It costs more. Wages aren't rising as fast. So if that's the case, then do you feel that, people are maybe in that rut and they're hoping for this moment, that they will be seeing that change? I mean, what say you in this?
Before the darkness comes the dawn, right? So what my feeling on this is, when something seemingly, we'll call it bad or negative, is going on, usually our initial reaction is, oh my goodness, this is a negative thing. We shouldn't invest. We shouldn't go out there and try to get a job right now. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do that. When actually, this could be the perfect time to do something different. And that seemingly bad thing that might be going on might actually be a good thing. I like to believe in my ordinary walk of life, as I'm doing things, that if I see something that seems like it might be negative, there could be a very good reason for it that could be helpful to me, that I'm just not seeing right in that moment. So I say to myself, you know what, that's good. That's good right now that these prices are going up, or this is going on, or whatnot. There must be a good reason for it that's going to be benefiting me in the future. And if you can look at the eclipse that way as well, and say, hey, we're going to have total darkness for a few minutes here. That seems a little scary in the thought of it, but that might be a good thing. I don't know why it's a good thing, but it might be a good thing. When you're dealing with the law of attraction, we're going to talk about laws just for a second. The law of attraction is about bringing things into your existence with the power of positive thinking, with going out of your comfort zone, which trying to believe that maybe, and not only just believe, but know that whatever it is you're trying to accomplish or achieve is already there, is already with you. So being able to look at perhaps something that you might be doing that might be sabotaging your success and say, oh, I didn't realize I was doing this. I didn't, whatever. That gives you more of an opportunity to change it. And I believe that this eclipse is all about change and initiating change and taking action because of when it's happening. And that's an astrological reason I believe that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So you're teaching a class all about the eclipse. I know you have reached out to tour groups that are bringing people into town. You're expecting a big group. I mean, I've heard thousands of people have told me based off of my research. I know you're going to be at Lilydale, the Lilydale Assembly, which for those that are not familiar, you definitely want to Google it because it seems Lily, and you know this better than I do, Kimberly, but Lilydale is supposed to be the heartbeat, I guess, of that spiritual community. Is that the right way to put it? And with all these people, they're going to have people that are actually going to be on location hearing from you, but also they can actually attend via Zoom. But tell the audience, what are you going to be teaching everyone that day?
So the title of the class is New Moon in Aries, the Solar Eclipse, New Power, New You. And it is in Aries. And if you know anything at all about astrology, Aries is a zodiac sign. It's the first sign of the zodiac. And it's about who I am. It's about you, me. It's about the individual. And really taking a look at the individual and what we're doing ourselves and how we can actually take action. It is a fire sign. So how we can actually move toward what we want and who we really are and be true to ourselves. So this new moon, which is what's causing this eclipse to come across, okay? A new moon, normally you don't see that in the night sky because the sun is completely blocked from it. But that's a start of something. When you have a new moon cycle, it's a great time to start something. And here we're actually having an eclipse and a new moon, and it's in Aries. So it's a good time for you to start something. Start something you've been thinking about doing for a while, you've been feeling passionate about, and taking that risk and being courageous in doing so.
Okay, so this class, it's April 7th. So you purposely scheduled it the day before the actual eclipse, so good 24 hours before we actually start seeing the changes with the moon and the sun. I believe that's supposed to start at 2:04 Eastern time on the 8th. Your class is going to be held at 1:30 on the 7th. So exactly 24 hours beforehand. I would imagine your attendees are really looking to hear about this new you and the energy that this can bring and everything else. Are you having anything? Are you having any surprises for anybody in the class? Are you actually saying, you know what, I think I want to hold off and actually maybe I have a few zingers here that you definitely want to attend? I mean, knowing you and knowing how I know you, I would imagine you'd probably have some type of a hook that try to get people to say, hey, look, you know what, I'm going to get a lot out of this. But maybe get a little bit more in depth about what you're teaching.
We're going to give people something to do at the moment of the eclipse.
Nice.
And I'm not going to tell you right now what that is, but we are. So that when you're experiencing that awe-inspiring moment at, I believe it's going to be 3:19 in the Buffalo-Niagara region, when we have complete totality for, 4 or 5 minutes there. And it is going to go just like that, so that you can meditate ahead of time. You can say something during it that's going to help you, that's going to add to your experience. And then afterwards, you can take that information and have a plan of action. That's what we're going to be giving you by attending this class. And it's going to be individualized for you, even though we're going to have 1,000 people attending by Zoom or whatnot. It's going to be easily accessible for anyone around the world to attend this class right there in Lilydale, New York.
Yeah, I like that, because I mean, you have so many people that are interested in this. They're coming to town on these. I know there's a train that's leaving Penn Station in New York. You have buses of people. People are flying into town. They're spending money. We already know that. We already know. We talked about it in the first block. The pop to GDP locally. What it means. This one-day event. It's truly remarkable. And then you tie this up into a very nice bow leading into the eclipse. I can't wait for it, Kimberly. I will be there in attendance. I'm really looking forward to it. And I know our audience will be as well. And in the description, I know you could probably register online, probably specifically directly with Lilydale. In our description, I encourage our entire audience to go to the description, check out, register for it, go to the link, click on it. You can easily sign up for this worldwide. Everybody will want to be a part of this. And Kimberly, I got to say, though, the audience is going to wonder how they can actually reach you. I mean, I know you probably do readings, all kinds of things, circles. How can the audience get in touch?
So you're absolutely right, Todd. I do give readings. I do public demonstrations. I work with corporate groups and whatnot with team training, and you can reach me at legalmedium.com. That's reallegalmedium.com. REAL legalmedium.com. Join us.
Fantastic. There
Join
you
us
go.
at the next event. We're going to have a great time learning all about the eclipse and what we can do at the moment of totality.
Oh, wow. I love that so much. Well, in the description, we will also have a link to your website. We definitely encourage everyone to reach out to you and really set up something, just a discussion with Kimberly. I think you'll get a lot out of that. So, Kimberly, we're going to leave it there because I want you to enjoy the eclipse. I want you to prepare. I know you're very busy getting ready for this class and obviously for that day. There's so much going on, especially in the Buffalo region. And it's just so exciting. I mean, it's so great for this area as well. So, but I want to thank you for being with us today, and I really hope to have you back sometime soon.
Thank you so much, Todd. Always a pleasure. Have
Absolutely.
a great eclipse.
Yes, definitely will. So on behalf of Kimberly Ferris and Angela Muff and Ned Tunmore, I want to thank everybody for joining us today on Buy, Hold, Sell special report on the 2024 total solar eclipse. Enjoy it while you can, people. Definitely wear your glasses, though. That's our PSA for the show. So listen, thanks again for joining us, and we can't wait to catch you next time on Biz Talk Today TV. Take care.
Buy, hold, sell, brought to you by Crosscheck Management.
I want you to smash that like button.